Hey, everybody. Happy Thursday. I'm so excited for our call tonight. We're going to get started in just a few minutes, so make sure you invite your team on here so they are ready to go. While we are waiting for everybody to hop on, I want to hear what awesome things happened to you guys this week. So drop your amazingness in the chat right now so we can celebrate you. And we'll get started in just a few minutes.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, and that
What's going on with her?
I feel very.
That is so awesome, Lindsay. Congratulations.
Mom. Mom.
Go sit down, please.
I'm John Quinones, American Hans Reiser. He was a successful businessman on the rise, and Nina, his Russian wife, she was a charming young doctor. Together they had 2 children, but the relationship would go strained. Then suddenly a disappearance. Had Nina run back to Russia?
Yay. Okay, so let's get this Zoom started. I'm so excited, you guys. It's going to be such an amazing Zoom. Let me start recording this. Oh, it already is recording right off the bat, right when I logged on. Okay, so let's get started. I'm so pumped. So before we do, I just want to share with you a few reminder things of what's going on right now. So first of all, the Thermo Fight is still buy one, get one free until Christmas Eve. And also same with the $20 coupon codes. Those are going to all expire by the end of this month. So if you have a ton of extra ones, make sure you help and like get the word out like crazy. And if you have a ton of extra ones when it comes a little bit closer, make sure you're sharing them with the team so everybody can take advantage of these coupon codes. Like we've been saying, it's like no coupons lost, you know, like let's use all of these coupon codes because it's such an amazing opportunity for people to get started for only $20. So I know a lot of you guys also heard that the Greens Orange is going to be discontinued. There just wasn't enough orders for it. And so that is exciting because that means something new and amazing is going to be coming in their place. So I'm really excited about that. And you guys, it's Christmas time. So this is just a little reminder that I know it's crazy busy for everybody during this time. There's always like a lot going on, but just make sure that you're planning out your days a little bit better. You're getting up a little bit earlier. You can plan out your posts the night before, and just making time. And this is also an awesome time because you're around so many friends and family members that maybe you haven't seen in a long time. So make sure you're bringing your coffee and drinking it in front of people. You're bringing your greens and you're shaking up in front of people, and just create those conversations.
I'm sorry.
Just create those conversations that, with all the people that maybe you haven't seen before. But I'm going to jump right into this Zoom because I'm so pumped about the ladies that we have on this Zoom tonight. It's going to be really powerful. And I know that so many people, we all go through struggles, right? We've all been through things in our life. We're all battling things. There's so many times where, excuses could really get in the way of us working this business. And everybody has like something different, a different roadblock that they're hitting in a certain point of their life. And I just wanted this Zoom to really bring comfort to you guys that no matter what you've been through or what you're going through, you can get through this, and you're so much stronger than you're giving yourself credit for. And that the reason why you joined this business is a good, valid reason, and that it wouldn't have been placed on your heart if it wasn't meant to go through on all that. So I'm so pumped. So the very first person that I'm going to bring on right now is my girl, Anna. Like, I'm so pumped right now. Anna, I'm going to unmute you. She has only been in this business for a month or so, you guys. Hey, Anna.
Hi.
So let me tell you a little bit about Anna here. I don't know how long I have bugged her to start this business with me, but she finally did about a month ago, and she has just been absolutely killing it, you guys. She finished her steps to success within the first 3 weeks of her business. She's already boxed in for Ruby. She's going to hit that this month. She's boxing herself in for Emerald. She'll be done with that. She bought her conference ticket. She's coming to conference. Like, this girl is just freaking on fire. But what I really want you guys to understand is she's a mom, she's a wife, she's a full-time employee, and she's a full-time student. So I know so many of you guys on here, maybe you're new and you're battling all of those new distributor things where you just don't feel like the information's overwhelming, or people aren't signing up as quickly as you thought, or you're getting told no and you're not used to that, or maybe you have a really busy schedule and you're not sure how to fit all of these things in to your schedule. Like, Anna is just, can you turn that down?
No. Tried to.
So Anna is just like an awesome example of just like what is possible with this business when you first start. So Anna, just real quick, like, what was going on in your life before you got started, and what made you finally decide to start?
So as you pretty much said, like, I don't even feel like I need to talk now. My life is crazy busy all the time. I was doing okay financially, and then this summer stuff came up and we ended up behind, and then I ended up having surgery, which made me miss more work, and I got more behind, and I was just sitting stressing. Like, I went to bed crying and praying for a way to figure out how to get myself and my family out of this whole, like, contemplating harvesting organs or not knowing what I was going to have to do. And I woke up the next morning and you had sent me a message saying, hey girl, it's only $20 right now. And so I was like, all right, I'm in. This is my divine intervention. This is my sign. And so I took it and went with it after I did a couple hours of research to make sure I wasn't getting myself into something completely crazy. But here I am, a year and a half, I believe, after you started talking to me.
Isn't that crazy? So a year and a half, like, I didn't even, like, you know, we talk to so many people now that you're in the business. We talk to so many people all the time. And you guys, I feel like this is such a solid example right now to know that like people are still watching you. Like just because somebody doesn't join you the first time that you message them or a month later or a year later, like when somebody's ready, like you're going to get an Anna on your team that's going to totally come in when she's ready and kill it. And so it's so important to stay focused on, you know, just moving forward and always messaging and always following up with people because, you know, when the time's right, they will join. So what I kind of wanted to, I know you kind of touched on it for like a second, but like before you started this business, I know you had mentioned like you and your husband both lost your jobs at the same time, right?
I didn't lose my job. I still have my job. We just had bills come up and unexpected expenses. Like I ended up having to buy a new car, and that put us super far behind. And then I was getting assistance for like childcare, so I was only paying $120 a month. And then, you know, I got a quarter raise and lost my childcare assistance. So going from $120 a month for my daycare to $660 every month for my daycare completely destroyed our financial status, along with this now $300 car payment I have every month. So in the blink of an eye, my monthly expenses went up almost $1,000. And then during the summer, because one of my husband's jobs, he works for a program through the school. And so during the summer, it's not open, and they owed him money, and the accounting office was ran by the students, so we couldn't get it for the summer. So that was almost $2,000 less a month for us each month as it was. And then having that extra expenses just completely put us behind. And I went from, you know, alternating bills of which one I could skip each month just to the borderline of not getting them shut off and having to borrow money to keep them on, and then doing payday loan to payday loan, trying to just stay afloat and keep a roof over my kids' heads and food on the table, and just have the simple necessities with nothing extra, and just having it be a constant struggle and crying and stress and giving myself ulcers and all sorts of the fun crap that comes with that.
Oh my gosh, girl. And it's just so crazy that when you decided, you know, like all of these things happening into your life, like they always say that people's lives like cycle and change about like every like 9 months or so. So like 9 months ago, when we were probably, you know, a year and a half ago when we first started talking, things were probably like, okay, you know what I mean? So it's just, you never know what's going to happen in somebody's life where they get to the point that like they truly need something like this. And the fact that you can work this from your phone and that you can work it in between your freaking crazy busy schedule and all of that is just so awesome. So, okay, let's talk about when you first started, because there's a lot of new distributors on this Zoom right now. So let's talk about some of the struggles that you went through, some challenges that you went through when you first got started. Like, did everybody just say yes to you and sign up right away? Or let's talk about some struggles you went through.
No, I definitely got a lot of no's. I still get a lot of no's. I think what's actually worse than the no's is when people just don't respond. Because I'm like, wait, are you interested? I see you've read this. You're not saying yes. You're not saying no. Do I continue to harass you? Like, it just, that's my least favorite, is when people don't respond. Or if they say, hey, I'm interested, and then you send them the information and then they just go radio silent. That makes me crazy. So I definitely had a couple patches where I started to get discouraged, and I was like, I don't know. I don't think I can do this. You know, maybe I am in over my head. I have no time to work this extra stuff. And discouragement was definitely is the hardest part for me to get past. And every time I'm like at the bottom of the barrel, I'm like, all right, I just need to give this up. Something happens and I sign a client, or I hear an awesome success story that just fuels me back up. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to hit my next goal and I'm going to make this happen. And then something happens that I get closer to that. So I think it's, you know, important to keep that positive mindset. Once you've made up your mind to do something, you know, it's the power of positivity. You think it's going to happen and you make it happen.
Exactly. I feel like that, I mean, that is just so powerful because, you know, a lot of times I feel like when people start this business, they think people are just going to like message them in their inbox and people are going to magically sign up, and it's just going to be super simple. When, you know, it comes down to it, this is like a business, you know, so this 100% is a business. So it takes time to grow. It takes the patience. It takes the consistency. And I just love the fact that through everything, through all of the challenges that a new distributor faces, like you kept pressing forward. You kept listening to personal development every single day. You kept like up the positivity. Like you've been such an amazing leader for your team and pouring into them. And she works full time, you guys, and she's going to school full time. So tell me, like, what does a typical day look like for you? Because you are, I mean, you've got a jam-packed schedule. So how do you make this business work on such a crazy schedule?
So I wake up in the morning, I get my kids breakfast and get them ready, and I take them to school and daycare. And then, so Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, my first class starts at 9. I go to school after that and, you know, alternate between work and school, a lot of driving back and forth between the two. But just, you know, anytime I get a break, if I'm going to the bathroom or you get your 15-minute breaks at work, lunch breaks, any break I get, I sit and I work on it when I can. The mandatory homework break, so I don't completely lose my mind, I work on it then. But just, you can always find time. Anytime something is important to you, you're always able to make time for it in your life. And I don't know I haven't personally talked to anybody that started this that they didn't need it and it wasn't something that they're doing to benefit their family. So clearly their family is important to them. Clearly this is how they've decided to make things better for their lives. So in my mind, that's automatically important. So you got to make the time. So you can find it anytime you truly want to.
Exactly. I feel like that's the main point here is like you make time for the things that are important to you. I know you reached like that point in your life where you just decided that you didn't want to like struggle anymore. Like you didn't want to have to worry about your bills all the time, or you didn't have to do like the pay advances on your check. Or somebody's not muted. Hold on. Let me see who that is. Can you please mute yourself when you hop on here?
What are you doing?
Why don't you keep spraying it so it gets warm?
Looks like Yvette.
Where is Yvette? I'm trying to find her.
Oh, she's muted now.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so shoot, I forgot what I was saying, but I really feel like that is like a super important part of it is just when you decide that what you like, the life that you want is more is way more stronger than any excuse that you could get, like that this business is too hard or somebody tells you no. Like that just doesn't matter because the dreams and goals that you have are so much bigger and so much more worth it than any struggle that you could come across. So okay, so real quick, what tip would you give somebody that's brand new, that maybe it's like a new distributor that's brand new, or maybe somebody that has a crazy busy schedule? Like what tip would you give them?
For me, the best thing to start off for was to learn as much as I could about the company, about the products. That way, when I went to talk to potential distributors or potential clients, I felt more comfortable and secure in the conversations I was going to have with them. So they wouldn't throw me off guard with some easy question that I should be able to find. So learn your stuff first, learn your company or learn your products, and then start with your close friends and family. Like they love you. They're the ones that are going to support you. So start with them, let them be your practice people, and then just go from there and don't stop. Like if you start to get discouraged, I don't know, the biggest thing for me was looking at other people's success stories and seeing how far they've come and what they've done, and find people that you want to aspire to be like and kind of watch them from the sidelines and go from there and mimic what they're doing, but in your own way, make it yours.
I love that. Like what Chad and Dre always say is like, it's okay to copy a cat if you're copying the right cat. So find leaders that inspire you, that you can relate to. And that's what I do too, still to this day. I've been in this business for 5 years and I still go on other leaders' posts and find inspiration for my own, or, you know, and then that's one thing I really have to give you a hand to. Like, you know your stuff. Like, I've barely had to coach you on how to respond to people because you go through our training page, you went through everything. So you came out of the gate in this like with such confidence. And I feel like that's really because you, like, they always say that there's 4 different things. Okay. So if you, you have to have confidence, first of all, in the industry and network marketing itself, have confidence in the company, in our CEO, and have confidence in our products, and then have confidence and belief in yourself. And it's like those 4 different things. If you're lacking somewhere, if you get thrown off by somebody telling you this business is a scam or something like that, you need to grow your belief in this industry. And if that's one of the things you need help with, I would watch this documentary. It's called The Rise of the Entrepreneur. It's amazing. It really shows how incredible this industry is as a whole. If you need that confidence more in the company, Anna, I know you did like tons of research on the company before you got started. And what were the key like factors that you really loved?
Honestly, once I found out like it was a legit business and not a pyramid scheme, as I'm sure you have all heard it called, reading reviews about people who have worked for the company and customer reviews, and like there were a couple bad ones, but I mean, you're going to get that with any product, anything you ever use. You can have 20 people work for the same place and not all 20 people are always going to be happy there. Everybody is different. But overall, the positive reviews I got were astounding, and just I started reading success stories before I was part of this company, and that inspired me and just filled me up with happiness. And so I was like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah, and I know our Gives Back program too, like really like hit home for you and everything too. So whatever it is that you feel like you're lacking, if it's the lack of confidence in the industry, watch that interview. If you're lacking like the company, like research our company, you guys. We have gotten so many awards. There's so many amazing things that our company have gotten. And the fact that, you know, Mark and Cindy are our CEO, like they have such integrity and they're such normal people that started out just like us, you know, like Mark was a basketball coach and she was just a in-home, like daycare provider. They were normal people that built this amazing, massive company. So they understand people that are struggling and they want to help us become successful. And the fact that that's our CEO, that's amazing. And then the products, I mean, you don't even have to say anything about the products. The products are amazing. If you don't have confidence in the products, use them regularly and you will fall in love and you won't be able to shut up about them. And if you don't have that belief that's in yourself that you can do this and that you can be successful and that you can go all the way to the top, like that's where you really need to pour into personal development and everything. So anyways, Anna, like you have just been such an inspiration to me. Like you light a fire underneath my butt. It's just amazing to see everything that you've accomplished in such a short period of time. And I'm just so proud of you, girl.
Well, thank you. It's been amazing. Best journey ever.
I know. I love it. Okay. So thanks for hopping on. Right now, the next person I'm going to bring on is Lacey. She's actually here with me right now.
Yay.
So let me mute you real quick on. Oh, you got it. So, hey, friend.
Hi, friend. We're really close.
We're really close.
Hi, Anna.
So, the next person I want to bring on is Lacey. She is just so amazing. She's been a part of our team for
6 months.
6 months or so, but she just really had a breakthrough recently that I wanted to share with all of you guys. It's so amazing to see the transformation that she's made just over these past couple weeks. But before we get into that, like real quick, I just want you to share with everybody, like everything that you've been through in your life, just like real quick, like who are you? What have you been through? And because your story is just so amazing. And I love it.
So I don't even know where to start with what I've been through. We'll start with, okay, I've been married twice and divorced twice. Both of my husbands left me for another woman. The first husband sent me into a complete downward spiral. I spiraled into the deepest hole that I could have ever got into. I an alcoholic. I was addicted to cocaine and pills. I tried to kill myself 3 times. I was raped by someone that I thought was my friend. My life was horrible. I was an atheist. I didn't believe in God. I didn't. But one day, like, it was just so weird out of nowhere. I just thought, God, I need to, like, I need something, you know, I tried to pray to like rocks and like all these things and like believe like my higher power was like the universe or something. And one day I just thought, you know what? I'm going to try this God thing. And it's amazing when you believe in the Lord and you actually like do everything, your life like becomes so much better. And so the second husband, we had twins, and this was a planned pregnancy. And my life, I was supposed to be a stay-at-home mom, and he was going to work, and that was the life that was planned. 3 months into that plan, he decided he wanted to go have an affair and bring the girl back to my house in Colorado, and I filed for divorce. And I had 2 babies, 3 months old, no money, nothing. I was like, what am I going to do? I refused, I've said this before, refused to be that victim. I refused to be the mom that was poor me, drunk, and all that stuff. So I literally found strength in my children, and I fought for them. Like, I fought for me to be a better person for them. So, I mean, I've been through a lot, and I think, is there anything else that you
okay. I just kind of want people to know the background of your story because you're so amazing. And
I
like,
love you. She's
she's just been through so much in her life. And so let's talk about a little bit. So I know Joanne introduced you to this business. So like what was going on in your life that made you finally decide? Because I know you were looking at this business for a while and you like weren't into it. So
Yeah.
What was the turning point? What made you finally decide to get started?
Well, Joanne, yes, she had been telling me about it and about the products. And one time I had back surgery and I was just out of it. And she came over and she managed to sell me the WOW and she thought I was sober, but I, had just got a shot of pain medication, and I'm like, why is my card showing a decline? She's like, you don't remember this? Okay, anyway, so that was that. But sorry, me. Something shiny.
She's my blue. She's my blue personality.
So basically.
So what made you decide to start? Yeah.
So
what was going on that made you decide to start? I
basically was, I was on food stamps, government assistance, WIC. I even with that, I was struggling. Like, I had to borrow money all the time. My car got repossessed. And it was just, I didn't know like what to do. So I finally thought, I'm just going to give this a try. And, I didn't really believe in it, but I thought I'm going to give it a try. Plus I want to lose my baby weight. And, so I really just started out of desperation. Really. I had nothing else because my kids were so young. They were 3 months old. And I mean, if I sent them to a babysitter, it would have been so expensive. And
you'd probably lose money.
Yeah. Even the judge said that to me when we were going to court. Like, he's like, you're going to pay more money for child care than you'll actually make. So yeah, out of desperation, I did this, and I'm very happy and grateful, like so happy. I can't even tell you.
So I want you to kind of talk about like your mindset kind of when you first started and the self-talk that you've had, and then talk about what changed recently in your self-talk now, because it's like a day and night difference and your business is day and night. So how are you when you first started?
When I first started, I cared so much about what people thought about me. I wanted, like I when someone said no, I was like, oh my God, they said no. This is like the worst day, and I would like freak out about it.
Downhill, like
yes,
spiral.
I would literally like write Jen like, oh my God, they said no, or someone would be like, for sure I'm in, like how Anna was saying, and it's like, for sure I'm in, and then I'm like, yeah, pumped. I'm like writing, to the team, like, I got a distributor and I got a loyal customer and blah blah blah. I'm so excited, and then it wouldn't happen, and I'd be like, Jen, this is blah, blah, blah.
It's like emotional.
Yes, it was horrible, and I didn't have confidence in myself. I was still healing from the abusiveness from my ex-husband, and trying to find myself and find my self-esteem. So that's basically where I was when I started the business. And then Jen literally told me like every day,
like 900 times.
900 times, you need to listen to You're a Badass. And I'm like, oh, okay, I will. I had every excuse in the book to not do it, especially I also had every excuse in the book not to work my business. But finally I was like, okay, I'll do it. I cannot tell you how obsessed I am with this book. I'm only on chapter 7, but I've listened to every chapter that I've listened to like 4 times already, because I'm trying to like get it in, and it's changed everything. I am like so like positive now, and like I just feel like this weight has been lifted from me, like of negativity, and I've been able to know that what I'm actually giving people or talking to people about, I'm sharing an opportunity that's not just, oh, here, join this business.
You were talking about in the beginning, you felt like you were so desperate too.
Yes, I was so desperate. And so, but because I didn't understand that the opportunity was a real opportunity, like really like something good. So all I wanted to do was just get people. I didn't care. I signed like 6 distributors that don't do anything, because I just wanted to have that under me. But yeah, now that I feel the way that I feel, and I've been doing a lot of personal development, which is amazing, and I really encourage everyone to do it. It's like the best thing in the world. Now I'm just like, I've signed 4 distributors this week.
Yeah, and you haven't even called me like flipping out.
I know. Because I had like a couple that were gonna sign up, and then they didn't.
And she's like, meh, whatever. They're just like, they're not right for my team right now. That's fine. Like, no big deal. I was like, what? Like, you feel all right?
Yeah. So that's pretty much, I feel a lot, like I just feel more confident, and I know I'm confident in the business, the products, and myself. And what I say to everybody is not BS. Like, I'm really telling the truth. Like, I believe it. So that, I think, comes off. I do a lot of, sorry, I'm going to keep talking for a second. I do a lot of the voice message things. Sometimes I'll leave like 5-minute ones. So it's like 1 minute, 2 minutes, like that. Because, I clearly talk a lot. But I love doing that. Jen was the one that told me, like, they want to like talk to them, because then they'll know you're like a real person. So I was so scared. I finally started doing it. Now I'm obsessed, and I can tell them with like full conviction that this business has changed my life, and it can change yours. And I'm absolutely so grateful for the opportunity and for my lover.
I love you, friend.
I love you.
Okay, so what I kind of wanted to go over too is, okay, so first of all, with the personal development, like with the book, what major realization like have you had? I mean, and I know that you're like, just like, you feel more confident and all that kind of stuff, but like, what kind of like really switched with this? Like, somebody that's never done personal development before, like, what switched with you?
I just realized that it doesn't matter what anybody thinks about me. And it's all about what I think about myself. It's all about loving yourself, and knowing that you're the poop, the good kind. But no, really, it's just, it's just about knowing that you're a badass and telling yourself the affirmations, they work. I mean, I have been very uncomfortable with myself, and I have to say I'm beautiful and tell myself that. And in the book, she even says, like, it's going to feel like you're lying, but say it enough until it's true, until you believe it. So I'm working on that. But seriously, I mean, I don't give a crap what anybody thinks about me anymore. Like before.
That alone is huge in this business, you know?
Yeah. I mean, 6 months ago, I was like, I cared so much. Like, oh my God, I would literally post, and then like you can like edit like who can see your posts. So I would like edit and not let certain people see, because I was so embarrassed and thought they were going to make fun of me. I don't care now. Now I'm like, whatever I post, I'm going to post it, and whatever I say, I'm going to say it. If anybody's ever seen my hot mess lives, I mean, you know that I don't care.
She's so awesome.
So,
well, okay. And two, what I wanted to say too is you were so concerned what people were going to think when you posted, but talk about, you know, since you started doing personal development and the posts that you're making now, because your mindset is so different, like you're getting people that are messaging you.
Yes. So, I mean, now doing personal development and being in such a positive space in my life, my posts are coming from like my heart. They're coming from realness. And before, I think it was just kind of like trying to make people like me. So now it's just like I'm posting a lot more real things, and I'm actually having, you know, people message me, one to say, hey, I want to join the team, like your team, you inspire me. I've had so many people say I'm inspiring, and my positivity is contagious, and it's like something I've never heard in my life, and it feels amazing. And it's like one of the things that, like, I don't know, I appreciate all the people that have, you know, read my stories and found some sort of inspiration from it, because it's, you know, it's been a interesting life I have. My kids are 20 months old now, and they're amazing. They're cuckoo, kind of like their mama.
Exactly. Okay, so real quick, so what do you do? What's like a typical day look like for you, and how do you, as a blue, stay focused and actually get stuff done?
Oh my God. Okay, I know. It's so hard to stay focused, but I have I have the run list, and what I usually do is at night I write my post, like my personal post that I'm going to do, and so that it's there for the next day, because that always takes me the longest, the personal post, because I have to really think about it. And then I, you know, post it the next day. The stories don't take long at all. You know, I'll make them or I'll copy them. Like she said, you can be a copycat, but copy the right cat. So I picked the right cat. And yeah, so so stories, really easy. And sometimes at night when I'm doing my my post for the next day, I also will send out multiple, not just 30, but I get a little crazy and send out a lot of host to post messages, especially now with the Target gift card thing, because people are like all over it. I got like 20 the other day, like host to post, just from the Target gift card. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, I love the fact that you plan out a lot of the stuff that you do the night before, because especially being a mom of twins, like life is crazy.
Oh, yeah.
So I love that, planning out everything the night before. And just like when you feel inspired,
oh yeah,
come up with ideas for posts, come up with different ways that you can tell your story and all of that. And that always seems to come to me at night too. Yeah. Okay, so real quick, before we jump into Natty and Meech, I'm so excited about these girls too. What tip would you give to somebody that, you know, has been through something similar for you? Like you've been through abusive relationships, you've battled with self-worth, you have just been through so much, and you're a single mom of twins now. So somebody that has been through something similar, what would you say to them?
it's all about how you feel. Like no one else is going to change your life. No one's going to pick you up and dig you out of the hole. Like you have to do it yourself. You have to find some purpose in life, some reason to fight for yourself. And it's literally like you just, it's up to you. No one's going to ever change your life. And I had to realize that clearly the hard way, after I spent probably 2 weeks in a mental hospital. But like, I mean, it's something you just have to get to a point where, I mean, rock bottom, it's true, rock bottom. But I really think that just being positivity creates positivity. Negativity creates negativity. You walk into a room and you're negative, the whole room's going to be negative. If you walk into a room and you're positive, everyone's going to be positive. It's just a very weird thing that I've learned. So yeah, I just say work on yourself and find a personal development type like book, like the You're a Badass, or something. It says in You're a Badass, it says find a role model. Find someone that you look up to, like a mentor or something. And I've chosen Jen as my role model. So she helps me a lot, but it says that in the book. So find somebody that you look up to, because I'm sorry, I know I'm talking so much. If you surround yourself with crappy people, you're going to be like in a crappy situation for as long as, forever. But you surround yourself with good people and successful people and happy people, guess what you're going to be? Successful, happy, and inspiring. So
that's why I love our team. Like, we're like a no drama team. We're all here, right, for the same purpose of that we want to better our lives. We want to improve ourselves every single day. We want to become the best version of ourselves. Like, that's why we're all here, right, you guys? Like, we just want to be the best version of ourselves. So why would we not support each other? And, I know coming into this business, I just, I never had a lot of girlfriends. I was raised with 3 brothers, and I never really had any girlfriends. And it's just so awesome to be surrounded by so many strong women that are positive and have the drive to change their lives and to leave like a positive imprint here. It's so powerful, you guys. So I love you.
I love you. And another thing, I'm sorry. Bye, Jen. No, another thing, like with our team, there's no cattiness. There's no like competition. Like, everybody's so happy for everybody that, gets whatever. Like, we're all just there for each other. And I know Jen went over it, but I just feel like it's so amazing to have non-catty people and people that support each other. And I feel so grateful and blessed to be doing this business and on this team. And I've literally changed. It has changed my life. I am not even kidding. Not even financially. I'm not even talking about that. Emotionally and mentally, that's like one of the best like gifts I could have ever gotten. So yeah.
You're amazing. It's so true though. Like like what's the quote? It's like, you show me the 5 people that you spend most of your time with, and I'll show you your future. Mm-hmm. So it's surround yourself with good people. Surround yourself with people that have goals that are going to push you to where you want to be in your life, and you will get there, you guys. No matter what you've been through in your life, what struggle you have been through, you have this team of people that want to love on you and push you to be your greatest self. So make sure you're staying plugged into this magic that's going on our team, because it's just really going to get you places. And if you like, I'm going to throw a little, what's it called? Like a little, I can't think of the word, but go to conference. Go to conference, you guys. Like, if you have not gotten your conference ticket and you're still on the fence, like I know the majority of people on here are going to conference, but if you are one of the few that have not made that decision and it's tugging on your heart, just do it. Like, I can't even begin to explain to you what happens at conference. Just get there and you will not regret it. Oh yeah. She you just heard her story. She's like on Wick and all that kind of stuff.
I'm not on Wick anymore.
Awesome.
But
she paid for a conference ticket.
You peed on the couch.
Well, that's good. That's pretty interesting. Okay.
Oh, shit.
Oh no, what did you do?
I don't know.
You're fired.
I don't know what I'm doing. Just what were you gonna say? How'd you pay for your conference ticket real quick? If somebody's on here and they're broke, real quick.
Okay,
how'd you pay for a conference?
So I wasn't gonna go to conference. Jen's like, you need to go to conference. You have to go to conference. I'm like, I don't have the money. So then I was like, okay, I really do need to go to conference. So literally within one day, I sold a saw. I did. I sold a saw, and then I sold some sample bags, and I made enough money to buy my ticket.
Keto coffee.
One day, and
yeah.
There's sample bags of keto coffee, and actually it wasn't keto coffee. It was collagen and like other stuff. Now I have keto coffee bags. But no, so I literally just sold stuff. Within one day, I was like, "Oh, I got my ticket." How'd that happen?
Make it happen. Like Anna was saying, like if you want something bad enough, like you will find a way to make it happen. And conference will change your life. So if you're not happy with where you are in your life right now, and you want to make more than $500 a month with this business, like smart business move. Why would you not surround yourself with millionaires in this business that are going to teach you exactly how to do that? And that is what conference is. So if you can't afford it, like figure out a way to make it happen because it's going to pay you off tenfold. So, okay, real quick. Okay, I'm going to bring on Natty here. I just got to spend the weekend with her and love on Natty. She is another one of my blue girls.
Woo! Blue is the best.
So we just got to have a retreat. I got to spend time with her team. And you guys, Natty is amazing. And Meech, who I'm going to bring on, like, it's going to blow your mind. Like all of these girls have been through so much in their life, and Natty is she's so inspiring. So I can't wait for you to hear her story real quick and everything that she's been through just recently over these past couple months, you guys. And she's still a top enroller on this team. So, hey, Natty.
Hey, friend.
How's it going, girl?
Good. I'm so inspired by all the stories so far.
I know. Okay, so real quick, like I just love you so much. I can't wait for people to hear your story. Like even start at the like beginning real quick. Like what was going on before you started this that made you then want to get started? Just go through all of that real quick.
Okay. I literally wrote notes so I wouldn't forget. But basically when I first started It Works, I was only 2 months out of chemotherapy. I was diagnosed with breast cancer 2 months after my 30th birthday. And it came as a total surprise. Nobody in my family had cancer before. And my aunt, but she was like in her 70s. And of course, we didn't think anything of it until I was diagnosed. And it turns out I had the BRCA2 gene. So I have a predisposition to breast cancer. And so I went through treatments, and it was literally like at that point, the hardest time of my life. I went from working 2 jobs 7 days a week to them telling me that I wasn't going to be able to work and that I was going to be on disability, which I was like, okay, well, at least that's something. Well, it's only 55% of your income. And it's not like I could just pay 55% of my rent. So I am a single girl living in San Diego. I have my own apartment. I have my own bills, and it was very, very difficult. But at the same time, I was watching my best friend and enroller, Meech Gonzalez, who's going to be coming on after me. And she was killing it. She has 3 kids. She was working full time, and she was still doing this business in her part-time spare time. And it wasn't until after I saw her go to conference and promote to the rank of diamond and make a $20,000 bonus that I was like, okay, tell me about this. So I went to a One Team One Mission out in LA just to see what it was about. And halfway through, I just decided to give it a shot. I turned to her and I was like, you know what? If nothing else, I can just make an extra $100 to $200. That's literally all I was expecting. And I knew I couldn't go back to like waitressing and all of that, but I figured I could do this from my phone, you know, and I could do this from home. So really only just $100 to $200 is what, I mean, $20 would have helped. at that point. So that's really how I got started.
Girl, and now you're a diamond. You earned $22,000 in bonuses, and you're about to go double, which is crazy. And you got a rock star team underneath you. And it's just, I know that you moved to New York and you were going to school full time, and you still worked this business during all that. And your story always is just super inspiring. So I want to talk about a little bit about what's happened recently in your life. If you guys don't know Natty very well, like, she is always the most positive. Like, she's just, you're around her and immediately you just feel like life has been breathed into you. Like, she's just always so incredible. And so, Natty, I know you were hit with a lot of things recently with your family. So do you want to touch on that a little bit, and how you were able to still, like, what still drove you to be consistent with this business going through all of that?
Yeah. So one, as Jen mentioned, like, I went diamond. I earned $22,000 in bonuses just 1 year in the business. And it was actually, I was looking at the timeline, and it was actually within a couple weeks after that I had found out that my sister's cancer had spread, and that she was stage 4. So at that point, I decided to move home. I said no to grad school. I was like, you know what, I'm just going to work this business from my phone. And I moved home. I quit grad school and I moved home. It's kind of crazy because the last couple years, my sister's just been fighting. And, you know, long story short, this August, and it's still really hard for me to talk about, but on January 24th of this last year, she actually passed. And it's been still probably, you know, it's crazy because when I first told my story, me having cancer was the most difficult time of my life. And then now having my sister pass, it's like I literally every day is a challenge. The holidays have been so hard. But one of the things that I feel like really got me through it was this business, because I'm surrounded by positivity every single day. I had so many people praying. I had my prayer warriors there. And the thing that was the craziest to me was, you guys, if I was working 2 jobs going to school, there's no way I could have been there for my sister. And when my mom called me and told me that my sister was in the ER and that she had to work the next day and she had to do these things and she didn't know what to do, I was able to just tell her, like, Mom, I'm on my way. And the last 2 weeks of my sister's life, I was by her side every single day. So that's because of this business. And had I not been doing this business, I don't even want to think about what I would have done. Because, I mean, you don't get paid time off when you have loved ones in the hospital or loved ones suffering. And I don't know what I would have done. So it's been crazy, but I actually ended up enrolling like 50 LCs in September. I had 5 personally enrolled girls on my team promoting the month of September, and including a couple emeralds, and 2 of my first emeralds ever, and a whole bunch of rubies. And it's just been insane, but it's really, I feel like, a long time coming because of all the work that I've done in the past. And I just have a rock star freaking team, man. So, I mean, God's grace, like, it's been such a tremendous blessing. And I never knew that this business would bless my life in this way, because I had no idea that any of this would be a part of my story. So
it's crazy because you never know what is going to be thrown your way in life. You never know what's going to happen. And I look at, other leaders' stories like Claire Flores with her husband, battling cancer. And I look at Lachelle with her mom. It's like, you don't know when things like this are going to happen in your life. And like, what a blessing it is to be able to spend all of those moments like with your family and with your sister, and have that time and not have to like worry about calling into work and not have to worry about all that kind of stuff. And then on top of that, to see your team totally soaring and your paycheck rising during the midst of all of that. It's just crazy. And I just admire you so much, Natty, like knowing your story and everything that you've been through. Like, you are just like this positive, pillar. And like, I'm just so thankful to have you in my life, and I just love you so much. What I wanted to ask you too real quick is, like with all these things going on, like, I mean, nobody would blame you for 1 second for wanting to throw in the towel or, take a break from this business or anything. So like, what keeps you going and focused on like your goals and everything when going through something like this?
Yeah, I feel like I'm almost like I'm just so much more inspired now than I ever was, because I don't know, now I see like what this business can really do for people. And more than that, it's my team. It's like these people have signed up with me. I have this rock star team, and it's crazy how God will use things. Like for me, I feel like God just knew what was going to really like inspire me and what was going to keep me going. And it's my team. Like they want it, and they carried me through when I was going through all of that. But more than anything, I just take advantage of when I'm fired up. So that would be my suggestion. Like I have days where I feel down, and I give myself the grace to mourn on those days, because the holidays are also very difficult. But just having the times that I'm fired up, like I go to work, and that's how I was able to do the Steps to Success last month 3 times. Like I don't even know how that happened, but I would just, when I'm fired up, I go to work. Like I would just work for like a whole day straight, and then I might not have any energy the next day. So I give myself that grace to like mourn and feel however I'm feeling in that moment. But then I don't stay there. I don't let myself stay there. I'm like, okay, Natalie, like it's time to go. Like, let's go. And then I'll listen to something motivational and get myself going again. And that's just how I do it, because mourning is hard. And I'm not going to say that it's been easy, but it's possible. And I think for me, being around my team, them carrying me, like them just being so, I don't know, like rock star on fire. I'm like, I got to keep up. I really got to keep up, and I don't want to let them down because they signed up. And to me, if somebody signs up with me, like now, you were trusting me. You were trusting me to guide you on this. So I'm going to do everything I can to help you be successful. So even on days when I don't feel like answering my phone, I'm still going to answer my phone, and I'm still going to post on days, because I also want to lead by example, so, but just giving yourself that grace on the days that you don't feel like it. And then the days that you do, just go extra hard and just make up for those days that you can't, because we all have those days.
So good. Okay, so one tip. So maybe there's somebody on here that is going through something similar the way that you have. What tip would you give somebody that's, somebody going through something major in their life right now? What tip would you give them?
I would just say, keep pushing, because you don't know what you're pushing for. So I was thinking about it earlier, and I'm like, that I feel like I was pushing, like I've been pushing for Double Diamond like the last, almost 3 years, and it's like, I feel like I'm pushing and I'm pushing, but at the same time, the same thing that you're pushing for is what could ultimately pull you through one of the hardest times of my life. Like I've never been so close to Double Diamond, and it's literally pulling me now. Instead of me pushing, it's pulling me through. And so you never know what you're going to be pushing towards, and how, what like can happen in your life, and how eventually that can pull you through. So just keep pushing, man. Just keep pushing, and just know that God will bless your efforts. Like you don't know when, and it definitely wasn't the time that I expected, but this business has turned out to be the biggest blessing of my life. And I always knew it was a blessing, but I never knew how much it would bless my life the way it has now. And so you never know. So just keep pushing, because you never know when you're going to need that grace, and that's what this business gives you. It gives you that time to know you're still going to get that residual income, to know you're still going to get a paycheck, even if you have an off week, even if you have an off month, as long as you pick it back up and keep going like the next week or the next month,
That really is the beauty of residual income, and you think of like any other type of business where, like you were saying, you don't get that, you know what I mean? Like in this business, you literally can continue to get paid while you're going through struggles in your life, while you're going through the hardest thing. And not only that, but the support and the family that you have with this company and with this team, like, is just it's just so inspiring. And I just love you, Natty. You've like seriously just blow my mind, everything that you're doing. And like, who is going to give Natty like the hugest freaking hug at conference when she goes, she's going to be double tapping way before then. Celebrating your promotion at conference. I'm so excited.
Oh, I love you, girl. Thank you.
I love you too. Okay, so next I want to bring on Meech. Oh my gosh, Meech is another powerhouse. I freaking love this girl so much. And again, like, you're around Meech for 2.5 seconds and you're gonna feel better. She is like, again, like just this ray of sunshine and like just such a like, you're gonna hear her talk for a minute and then you're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about if you haven't heard her story already. But I freaking love you. I'm so excited. Thank you for coming on to this Zoom tonight. I know you've got a lot going on in your life right now too. So real quick, let's talk about, you had a struggle like first off, right off the bat when you started this business. So do you want to talk about what made you decide to start this business and that little bit like in the beginning that you kind of went through and how you pulled through that? And then we'll get into the other stuff.
Yay! Oh my gosh, I love you so much. Oh. You guys have to excuse me. I'm like a hot mess. I've been driving for like the last 3 days, and it's just like, this is all you're getting today. So don't judge me and then my profile picture on Facebook, okay? Hey guys, what's up? My name is Meech. I'm from Fresno, California. I've been in the business since 2014. Honestly, I wasn't looking for an opportunity. I was looking to lose weight because I had just had Tootsie. She was like a year and a half at that time, but I was on Facebook scrolling and trolling like I usually would, and I seen a post pop up of a stomach that looked just like mine. I had 3 C-sections, my stomach was a mess, and I was like, there's no way that little patch thing did that. Like, I was already contemplating surgery. Of course, it was a dream because I was always broke, so I knew that was never gonna happen. But I was like, dang, if that wrap can do that, like, I gotta try. I want to try it. I was like hooked on diet pills and like all the bad stuff that you're not supposed to do when you're on a diet and trying to lose weight. But I wasn't losing weight, guys. I was huge. I was in a size 16. I was wearing like large Dickie men scrubs because I used to be a medical assistant, and it was bad. I saw a picture of myself and was like, oh hell no! Like, who is this girl? Like, that is not me. And so I ended up hitting my friend up. She was my friend. She used to live in Santa Barbara. I met her through my sister-in-law. And I got hooked up with the wraps as a loyal customer. So I didn't even like have any, like, I didn't even know like that I can even get involved with this as a business. I just, wanted to save money and get the hookup. So she gave me the homie hookup with the 40% off, got the wraps, fell in love with it. And then I was like, okay, let me stalk her page. I need to see what else she has because I don't want to use Hydroxycut anymore. I don't want to like starve myself for 3 days and then binge eat that 4th day. I wanted to do something healthy for myself. And I was like scrolling through her page, and then I see a post where she's talking about being a stay-at-home mom, and she has like these little boys. And I knew obviously she was online because I knew her like personally. So, sometimes you see people that you don't know. It's hard to get involved with somebody you don't know, but I knew her. And so I trusted her, and she was saying she made like triple what I was making as a full-time medical assistant, which I went to school for. I got a career, put myself in debt. Like, I had you go through that whole traditional process. And I was like, there is no way. So instantly I was like, dude, like, how in the world are you making that much money selling wraps? Like, that is just crazy. So she started like telling me about it a little bit, and I ended up praying on it. Funny story, you guys. I was like, okay, my car was broke down. At that time, we were wanting to come home. Rich had got hurt at work, so he ended up finding out he had scoliosis. So we couldn't even get like workers' comp. We couldn't get disability. We couldn't get any of that because it was a pre-existing condition. And so trying to get a job with restrictions, he struggled so much. And there's not very many jobs here in Fresno other than warehousing and stuff like that. With restrictions, they didn't want to hire him because he was a liability. And so we were trying to make it off my 50 to 60 hour a week paycheck month to month. It's hard. It was so hard after we had Zendaya. It was hard with 3 kids. I had 2 teenagers and a little baby, and it was hard. But we were doing it. I don't know how, grace of God. And my car was broke down. My rent was overdue. Like, I was like, I was in a hole. Well, when she told me about the opportunity, I was like, okay, let me pray on this. We ended up going, mind you, I live in Fresno. Fresno's kind of small. It's not that big, but I had never heard of this company before. I never seen anything that works. I just knew like I thought she made the wraps. Like I thought it was something she did. So I prayed on it that night with my daughter, my teenager. And I said, God, if this is something that you think would be good for me, if I can make some extra money off of it, let me know. I was scared. It was $99 to start. And I was like, I can't take this money out of my kid's mouth. Let me know if this is something I should do. Well, we went to, my brother-in-law came to pick us up. We go to my nephew's little league game. And seriously, you guys can ask my daughter. This is just crazy. When we pull into the parking lot, right? And we get out of the car. My daughter jumps out first. And she's like, Mom. And I'm like, what? She's like, look, there was a van with the It Works magnet on it. And I was like, okay, God, I hear you. Like, I'm going to go ahead. I couldn't even focus on my nephew's game. I got home and I was like, okay, I just signed up. What do I do now? And she's like, what the heck? Like, whoop. And I was like, just tell me what to do. Just like, tell me what to do. I know I'm going to wrap my mom, my sister-in-law. Like, I'm going to wrap everyone. But just tell me, like, what to do. Because I need help. Like, financially, we need it bad right now. Food stamps weren't covering it. Payday loans were cutting it. We were borrowing money from my family. Like, it was tough. When I say we were like in a hole, like we were like in a hole. So yeah, I kind of went overboard, didn't I?
No, it's so good though, because I mean, you started out as a customer first, so that's really cool. I always say like loyal customers make the best distributors because they already know what they got their hands on, so okay, so then you get started in this business, and I know your enroller quit. She just totally bailed. So talk about that for a second, and then
okay, so I don't know if you guys have anybody, like if you enrolled in your sponsor or your enroller quit. Mine didn't just quit. Like it was so dirty, y'all. Like she quit, and I was a Ruby at the time, and I was boxing for Diamond. And when she quit, it was like out of spite that she was being spiteful towards other people in the company. She ends up taking my whole entire team, y'all. Like everybody on my team, my rock stars. She took my rock stars, and I was like, what in the heck am I gonna do now? Like, what am I gonna do? Like, there's no way I'm gonna get to Diamond. I don't know what I'm gonna do now. Like, this girl just messed with my money, and she lives like 4 hours away, so I couldn't even drive over there and like do something to her because I was that's old me, y'all. That ain't me now, but that's the old me was like, I can't even drive over there and do something. She messed with my money. And so I was like, I was so mad. In that moment of all that chaos going on, Chadri and Shauna had called me on a three-way. Like they had me on a three-way, and they instantly calmed me down, and they were like, don't worry. We're going to show you everything. Like we're going to take you under our wing, and we're going to, continue to run this business with you. And they just encouraged me. And for me, I was like, okay, well, let her go. I'm about to show her like what she's missing out on. Like I'm going to be one of those persons that she's going to look back and regret. Like, dang, I shouldn't have left because she would have been my rock star. And so I just kept going. I got stuck at Ruby for a while because she took my whole team with her. So when I went to conference, I didn't know what to expect. They just told me over the phone, they were like, get your ticket. You're going to go to conference. And that's when you're really going to learn everything you need to know. And I was like, there's no way I can afford to fly to Florida. Like, there's no way I can fly to Florida. I remember Chad and Shauna were like, you can't afford not to. And I was like, okay, well, that's another way of putting something, but I still can't afford it. Like, I can't afford it. And they were like, I had to figure it out. I ended up crocheting. I learned how to crochet. I started making all kinds of little beanies and all these little things and started selling them like crazy. Sold them like crazy. My mom was like turning in cans. Like, we were like, we just have to get there. They're telling, if these millionaires are telling me, like, if you want to be a millionaire, this is what you have to do. I was like, I'm going to listen, right? Duh. It's like common sense. So I ended up getting my flight. My mom got a flight. We got our tickets and we went. And after conference was over, I remember the last day. And mind you guys, when I got to conference, I was like, what in the world is going on? Like, there's like all these people in black and green, and then like worship service. Like, I didn't even know they had like God at the forefront of this business. I didn't know it was a Christian company. I didn't know nothing about the CEOs. I didn't know nothing at all. I just knew Chad, Dre, and Shauna. That was all I knew. Those were the people that were like, I idolized. Like, oh, she's a triple diamond. Oh, they're ambassadors. Oh, they're millionaires. Like, so we got there. the last day they announced the bonuses, which were doubled at that time. And I remember holding my mom's hand. My mom was she was my executive. She was going to be a Ruby too. I remember we held hands and we just looked at each other and we were like, we have to do it. They were like, it's a $20,000 diamond bonus. And we just looked at each other, and Shauna and Jen and Carrie and everybody were like in the row in front of us. I'll never forget it. We were crying, and I'm like looking at the back of their heads, and they're all excited and everything. And I was like, okay, this is really going to happen. Came back, and that was in February, and then in March I went diamond and earned that bonus, and then that following month my mom went diamond and earned that bonus. It was life changing. If you guys aren't going to conference, you have no idea what you're missing out on. I don't think that would have happened had we not gone, because I wouldn't have known everything that this company is about if I wouldn't have went. And I don't miss them now. I don't ever miss conference.
Once you go, it's like you can't not miss it. Like then you see everybody there, and it's just like major FOMO. Like you have to go to conference, and then we'll always continue to go.
Yeah, and then when we went to the second one, so that was my first conference. Came back. I remember holding my mom's hand, and we were like, we're doing this. We ended up coming back and doing it, and everybody was seeing it on Facebook, because we were, that's when we were like sharing it and posting and talking about it. And when we got back, we were like, okay, we got to go to the next one. So we ended up getting ready to go to our second conference, and that at that one, it was more, we kind of knew more what to expect. We had some team. Natty went with us. That's right after Natty joined me. I had like bugged her for a year, y'all. Like, you don't understand. Now we share the same anniversary, but we're a year apart. But we get there, and I remember the last day, it was kind of like the same thing. Mark was talking about being a fighter. That's when he did the whole boxing glove, and Rocky was talking to us and all this stuff. It was amazing. And I remember my mom was like, Mija, you have to go back and quit your job. Like, you have to. You've been wanting to be a stay-at-home mom forever. Like, you have to do it. And I was just like, no, there's no way. It's scary. Stop, Zendaya. It's so scary when it's something different and change, and you know what you're going to let go of. Like, it's hard, but sometimes you have to let go of things in order to get something better. And so we went to conference a second time, came back. I walked into my job. I got back that Sunday night. Monday, I went to work, and I told them it, and I wrote an email to my boss, and it took me all day to hit send, but I told her that Friday was going to be my last day. When I pushed enter, I was like, what the hell did I just do? Rich is going to kill me. Like, how are we going to do it? I don't even know what we're going to do. And I just kept hearing my mom's voice in the back of my mind. Don't worry. Just do it. God's going to get you. Like, God will get you through it. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Have faith. Just do it. And a week later, it was like 9 days after that, I ended up promoting to double and got the $30,000 bonus. And then the next month, I got Rich to diamond, and he earned a $10,000 bonus. And around that time is when like Natty promoted, Tina promoted, like everybody was promoted. It was just like crazy. And I was like, okay, yeah, now I know, like whenever I'm scared of something, like if something scares you, that's when you know you have to do it. Like, and the scarier it is, the more reason why you have to do it. Trust me, it's crazy how it all works out, but it always does.
It's so true. Now your team's exploding even more. I mean, I can't even explain, like, this time of year is so different to every other time that we've ever been in it. Like, it's so crazy to see people's volume go up and people's paychecks go up this time of year. It's so crazy. So you guys, like, whatever's coming in January and conference time, it's going to be even crazier. I'm so pumped. So, okay, so let's talk about, I know you've been through a lot with Rich. So do you want to kind of talk about, like, first you had the challenge of people completely leaving your business and doing that, and now you have an even bigger challenge that you're dealing with now. So talk about that a little bit, and let's start there.
Yeah. So last year, in the summer of last year, we were getting ready to go out for my birthday. We're about to go turn up and do all that good stuff. And Rich ends up coming out of the bathroom, and he had blood in his urine. And, we were like, oh, let's go to the hospital. He's like, no, we're going to go out for your birthday. Like, we're going to have a good time. I'm just not going to drink. Like, we're not going to worry about it until tomorrow, which the next day was Father's Day. We end up going out, but, of course, in the back of your mind, it's like, okay, now I can't turn up because my mind is all flooded with, like, what is this? What if it's this? What if it's that? What if it's this? And don't ever Google, you guys. Don't ever Google when something's wrong. And so we ended up going out the next day. It was Father's Day. We ended up, like, making an enchilada dinner, and we're like, okay, we'll eat, and then we're going to go. So we ended up going to the hospital. And then we find out like he has this huge mass and he's gonna have to have surgery, and the doctor's 99% sure it's cancer. And we're like, no way. Like, wait a minute. Like, it was one of those like what? You know, we were just like, what? We were just out last night. Like, what do you like? There's what? And it took a while, like it took a while to sink in. And then we like, you know, had to go through like all the insurance stuff. Well, we ended up getting in at Stanford, which it was a godsend, you guys. Like, you guys have no idea how hard it was to get into that university. And we found out that he was stage 4 renal cell carcinoma, which is kidney cancer. It had spread throughout his lymph nodes and his neck and his spine and his lungs. But if you guys see Rich, like, y'all wouldn't even know that you wouldn't even know that he's sick. Like, he is such a fighter, and he is just like so optimistic. And I think that has a lot to do with him constantly being surrounded around like me and like the team. Like, even though they're not physically here, like, I'm constantly on personal development. I'm constantly listening like Christian music. I'm constantly like, he can't get away from it. And so just all that being around all of that, I think that makes him a lot stronger. And then, you know, we have a huge team of like Team Rich. Like, it's just, it's amazing. But it was like, when all that happened, it was like, what do I do? And I just kept thinking, like, how am I going to just like, you know, work a business, raise these kids, take care of him, you know, take care of our bills. Like, how am I going to do this? And it just, you know, the more that you start doing personal development, you start to realize like the how doesn't matter. The how always works itself out, no matter what you're going through, the how always works itself out. So it's not your job to worry about how, it's just your job to worry about why. And so I was like, okay, I'm not going to worry about how. I'm just going to worry about why. Like, why do I need to continue working this business? Why do I need to stay plugged into my team? Why do I need to, you know, be a lighthouse in his life? Why do I need to show my kids what a strong mom looks like? It boiled down to from how to why. And I can honestly, like, I really don't know where the strength comes from. I don't know, like, how I get through each day by day. I don't know. All I know is that it's the God in me. I don't know, like, you know, and it's hard to watch, like, the love of your life go through things like that. But, like, when I was younger, my mom was diagnosed with cancer, and they gave her 3 months to live 28 years ago, and she is still here. And so when you start to look back at things, you start to realize, like, you start to have a memory for miracles, and you start to look back and think, like, okay, God came through then. And then, you know, my parents got separated. They never divorced, but they were separated for 18 years, and I prayed and prayed and prayed for them to get back together. They got back together. So I had a memory of that miracle. And then, you know, my mom still being here. And then it's just like, okay. And then I went to my job, and I walked in and I quit, not knowing what was going to happen. And then there's that memory of that miracle. And then it was just like all these things that I had to keep remembering. Like, okay, if God did it then, why do I even have fear that he'll fail me now? Like, there's no way. And so, you know, with everything that we go through, it's more of a, don't worry about how, just remember why. Like, because if you think about how, you'll confuse yourself. It's like trying to see, when you think about how am I going to do something, it's like trying to figure out what God looks like. It's something that you'll never, ever have the capability to do, right? You'll never know what God looks like. You'll never know. You don't know what air is. You just know that you need it to live, right? So if you look at things as, why do I need God in my life? Why do I need this air in my lungs? It all starts to make sense in a whole different perspective. And so I always look at it like, I could either have the excuse of, Rich is sick, I can't work my business, I can't do this, you know, all these different excuses, or I can use those as reasons. And so, they look alike, right? Reasons and excuses are exactly the same thing. It's just about a perspective of how you look at them. It's just like being planted and being buried. I'm doing this series called Planted Not Buried, but planted and buried look exactly the same. But depending on how you want it to be, it could either be for life or death, right? So it's the same thing with excuses and reasons. So every time an excuse pops into my mind, like, so like, you guys, I just pulled into my house right at 6 o'clock. And I could have had the excuse, like, I've been driving all day. My eyes are about to fall out of my head. I'm like super tired. My brain is like full of information about all these different medications and immunotherapy and cancer and chemo and like all just this stuff. And I can use that as an excuse to be like, I can't get on the call tonight. I'm just so tired. I need to lay down and go to sleep. But I use that as a reason why, like, somebody needs to hear this. Somebody needs to hear this. My kids need to see that no matter what I just went through, I came home and I still held my commitment. My kids need to see that I'm still strong for him, and Rich needs to see that I'm holding him down, no matter what, right? And it's hard, y'all. Like, I'm not gonna say it's a piece of cake and it's a walk in the park, but how it happens and how I get through it is just knowing that I don't need to know how. I just need to know why, and just always remember why. Why are you doing this? Why are you in this business? Why did you sign up? Why? Why? And that's all I've been doing is asking why a lot lately, because it's been hard, but why, and not why me, but why do I need to do what I'm doing? So.
Dude, Meech, so freaking good. Like, we're just over here like, I love her. Like, oh my God. You're just like, oh, like, it's so true. Like, and your kids seeing you being the strong mom, like seeing you, like, I love that whole part. And then
baby. Shut up.
The same thing too, like what you were saying, like, one person could look at everything that you've been through with your mom and now with Rich and all of that and be like, why is this happening to me? Like, why is this happening again? And the way you look at it is like, God got me through the first one. He's going to get me through it again. Like, it's just so powerful what your perspective can be. And I love that analogy of like, like you can either be planting a seed or you can be burying something. Like, it's the same thing. It looks the same to somebody. And I remember we were talking about this at the retreat. Like, you can hold up this phone and to Lacey, she can see, what do you see?
Yeah. And my eyes are blurry because I've been crying.
You see like a gray phone case, but on this side you can see like the screen of a phone. Everybody's looking at the same thing, but how you interpret what it is and what you're seeing through, like your perspective is going to be completely different. So I love the fact that everything that you're going through, and all of these girls that have been on this Zoom tonight, no matter what you're going through, you have the choice every single day to decide how you interpret what's happening to you and how you decide to react to everything that's happening to you. And all of you girls on here are just such powerhouses that you choose the positivity. You choose to move forward. You choose to put your family first. You choose to continue being a better person every single day. You choose to set that example for your team that no matter what, or for your family, that no matter what happens, you can still do this. And each and every one of you guys on here, you're so much stronger than you're giving yourself credit for. You're so much braver than you're giving yourself credit for. And all the people that you are looking up to, or you see their stories, that is going to be each and every one of you guys on here. You guys all have a powerful story to write. You guys all have such an amazing testimony to show what, Juriel says, turning your mess into a message. So don't quit, you guys. Keep going. You are made for so much more, and your story is just being written. You are just starting to write your story here. And it's just, I just look at Chad too. He's just such an amazing example of being, a drug addict, having warrants out for his arrest, and same with Juri and stuff. And then looking at them to who they are today. And what amazing human beings they are and everything that they've accomplished. It's just incredible. Yeah. I just look up to you so much with everything that you're going through. You are just, I love being around you.
Oh, I love you.
Love you.
Okay, so real quick, we're going to close.
Guys, if you have kids, if you have little ones, they're watching every step you take, every little thing that you do, everything that you just everything. They are watching everything. Even if you don't think they're watching. I don't care how little they are. Zendaya, when I started, she was 2, and she has watched me do this business and be consistent and do, and she doesn't know anything different. And I set the intention every single day of what I want. I think ahead, you do the vision casting, and I start to really focus on the intention of what I want them to remember, because as you know, when you're in the midst of parenting and the midst of your life, it's so easy just to go with the flow and you know, and just go how it's going to go, whatever. I made the choice, and I decided this, that I am going to intentionally give my kids things to remember when they get older about how they grew up and how this all went down, right? Like me being a stay-at-home mom, me being able to work from home, me being, you know, there for them. Like I set the intention of being able to, because if it works, this is what I get to do. I get to take the kids to school. I get to spend the day with Rich. I get to be here when the kids get home. Like I have, you know, as soon as Nanny gets home, like, you want to shake, baby? Like we get to talk about the day. Those are things that when they get older, they're going to remember. Like my mom was always there. Like I remember my mom, she used to work, like she had this cool office, and like she used to be on there talking to people. And I remember seeing, you know, I set that intention of what they're going to say when they get older, because what we leave them with inside is a greater, what's the word? Legacy than money, right? Of course, we want to leave our kids with money, and we want to make sure that they're good as they get older. But it's what we leave inside of them that they're able to carry out and create that legacy in your family and their family and their family and their family. And as long as we set intention in everything that we do, like intentionally focusing on perspective, intentionally focusing on how you want your day to go. Like Lacey said, scheduling the night before, like being intentional with everything that you do is how you get to where you want to get to. It's how you're going to be able to, you know, think things through, because sometimes your brain can get clouded. Like today I was like, I don't know which way to think. I don't know which way to look. I just know I need to drive. I know that he needs this and he needs that and he needs this. And I was like, hold on, let me just take a deep breath. Let me pop this keto energy real quick. Mm-hmm. And let me just, you know, intentionally focus on what I need to focus on right now. Okay, right now I need to, you know, get home. I need to just focus on God and know that he's going to get us wherever we need to go. And as soon as we get home, I got to, like, you know, I need to share my story so that it can touch somebody. And I you know, honestly, on the way home, I was praying, like, God, everything that you are putting, you know, not putting me through, but everything that you are carrying me through with this journey with Rich, with this journey with, you know, everything that we're going through. I just pray that there's people on this Zoom tonight that are going to hear it, they're going to take it in, and then later on, they're going to remember. So that was the intention that I had coming in this call, was that somebody would think, like, if she can do it with all that going on, like, why wouldn't God want to do it with me too? Because he does. Like, God wants to do it for you too. You have to allow it to happen. You have to open up your heart, and you have to open up your mind, and you have to have that perspective that if God is there for them, then he can be here for me too if I allow it. If I let him in and let him guide my steps, and if I just focus on why. I can't stress that enough, you guys. Focus on why. Like, why is so important. It really is. So
good, Meech. Okay, real quick, what tip would you give for somebody that is like going through a similar struggle right now, or just somebody that's struggling? What tip would you give to somebody?
If you're struggling right now, focus on what you want out of the struggle. So you have a choice. Do you like later on looking back at your struggle, you know, always think ahead and then try to look back at where you're at right now. So that way, because, you know, you look back at things that happened before and you're like, okay, he got me through that. I got through this. I did this. I did that. So think of your situation that you're in right now, but look back on it. Like if you're already past it, write a letter to yourself if you have to, but look back and be like, dang, you know, when I was going through that, this is, you know, this is what happened. This is this, and focus on what you want it to turn out to be. Because it can go both ways, and it's your choice. You're struggling, so you can either sit in your struggle and bury yourself, or you're struggling and you can plant a seed of hope, and you can plant the seed of intention, and you can plant the seed of perspective, and you can allow that to grow by just constantly focusing on that. So that's what I was saying, like being planted and being buried look exactly the same, you guys. It's dark, it's cold, it's scary, it's unsure, like you don't know what's going to happen, but you have the choice on how you want it to go. Do you want it to die, or do you want it to grow? And I always hear this thing like where they said, if you're not growing, you're dying. And it's so true, because if you're planted or buried, it's the same thing. So plant yourself in such a way where you set the intention to look back at this situation, remember, and see how you got through it, and use that to be like, okay, this is going to be somebody else's message. This is going to be the message for somebody else to get through what they have to go through. I don't know why God has to use me to do it, but I'm honored. You know, like I look at my problems like, okay, God, I'm honored that you want me to go through it so I can share something with somebody else. But just show me how to do it, because I don't know how. So just show me how to do it. I know why I need to do it, but just show me how and guide my steps. And it's just a day-to-day thing, you guys. It's something that you have to have intention in doing that. Because if there's no intention, then you're just kind of floating. It's like, you know, you're in a boat with no like captain at the helm. You're just kind of going. But when you're intentional, you got your hands on that wheel, you know where you're going, and you're going to hit your, you know, whatever it is that you want to get to. So it's a choice. It really is a choice. You know, there's people out there with a lot more problems and a lot less time and a lot less money and a lot of other stuff going on worse than you. And they're killing it and they're doing it because they made that choice to do it.
So good. Oh my gosh. So we totally ran over tonight, but man, this Zoom was freaking fire tonight. Like, oh my gosh, all of you girls inspire me so much. Thank you guys for taking the time out and pouring into everybody tonight. And just, I hope you guys, no matter what somebody is going through or what issues you're battling and challenges, like, know that there's hope. Know that you have a team that is here and wants to cheer you on. Know that you can do this, and know that, you know, better things are coming. Like, your best days are ahead of you. Your biggest boom in your season is still ahead of you. Your biggest paycheck is still ahead of you. Like, there's so many great things still ahead of you. So anyways, I'm going to hop off. Thank you, everybody, for hopping on, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye, you guys.